and welcome to Mama Ruth's house. So glad you stopped in. Today we have a special meal. This is going to be no meat, but it is very, very flavorful and delicious. The main ingredient is butternut squash. I've already peeled and cut up 5 cups, and I just made them about the same size, probably 3/4 of an inch little squares. I'm going to mix those together, and I'm going to put the spray canola oil so that we can make it a little bit lighter. You can use olive oil, certainly. I'm choosing not to so that I can keep the points lower. So this dish makes 8 servings, and each serving, if you're following the Weight Watcher plan, is 6 points. And I just can't wait. It just is amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see how easy it all goes together. So let me put you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've put the 5 cups in here, and I'm just going to spray them generously because I put in there enough for 1 point. So we're going to spray. Well, that one just escaped. It wants to get in there already. And I'm just using the canola oil. You can use olive oil. You can use whatever you want. All right. So you can see we have them all coated. Now I'm going to use about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There's going to be more salt in the dish, so this is just, we're going to roast these in the oven. So I'm just mixing those up real good. Put it on a sprayed pan. So we're going to cook these in a 375-degree oven for about 30 minutes, and we're going to flip them and stir them in the middle of the cooking process. Okay, that looks good. We're going to go ahead and put those in, and then we'll be back. While these are cooking, then we're going to make we're going to mix, well, we don't have to mix the other ingredients. All right, we're back, and our squash is tender. See how it looks. Now we're going to start the rest of our ingredients. Let me put you down so you can see. Got our hot plate going. So I put some of that canola spray, even though I'm going to put a little bit, just a teaspoon of olive oil. This recipe was at 3 tablespoons of olive oil, but it would make it a little more pointy than I wanted it to be, so changed it up a little bit. So we have 1/2 cup of onion. I'm not left-handed, so it's kind of weird. There we go. It calls for 1 red bell pepper and then 1 green one, but I didn't have green, so I'm improvising. So use whatever you got, and mine is yellow. Green would have been a nice contrast, but I don't have it, so So we're going to saute these up real nice. And I'm choosing to add a jalapeno from my garden because I wanted it just a little bit spicier. But that is totally optional. And I may have wanted to add 2, but I just did 1, and we'll see how that turns out. we're going to go ahead and add our spices. We're going to add another half a teaspoon of salt. I did a little over a teaspoon of cumin. It calls for a teaspoon, but you can add as much as you'd like. I think you can try it. And a teaspoon and a little bit over a teaspoon of chili powder. Get that all meld together. Be yummy. It's a Southwestern style. It just smells amazing already. So I'm going to let those cook. Clean up my mess a little bit. My husband always helps me clean up, but I try not to have such a mess for him. So I have my hot plate here on high. It says that you almost want it just a little bit charred, but we'll see how I do. All right. Now we're going to add our corn. We have 1 can of corn rinsed, this whole kernel corn. Then we have 1 can of black beans rinsed. Just combine all that together. And then we're going to add our squash to this. You cool your squash just a little bit. Oops, I had a runaway. I'm going to add the rest of our squash in here. I love acorn squash, but my favorite is the butternut squash. And turn the heat down off. Get all those flavors mixed in. So at this point you could taste it, see if you think you need any more salt or cumin or chili powder. But I think it's going to be fine. I'm not going to taste it. I think I'm just going to let go with it. Okay. And put that off the heat. Get our other ingredients. All right. Let's see. I want to back this up so you can see it just a little bit better. So we are going to be using 1 3/4 cup of the light Daisy sour cream. You can use whatever sour cream you like. We're going to be using 1 3/4 cup of the fat-free mozzarella cheese. We're going to be using 12 of the corn tortillas. And then I did chop up some little green onion that I'm going to put on there as well. So we have I think it's a 9 by 11 pan. So first up, you're going to add 1 cup of salsa in the bottom. And I did spray it. I don't want anything sticking. This is the fun part now, right? We get to mix it all up, layer it, and I bet it's going to just be beautiful. This is the first time I've made this one, so we're going to test it out together. So I'm spreading that out. Then I'm going to put 4 corn tortillas in the bottom, and they're going to be overlapping. That's just fine. And then I'm going to put 1/3 of our veggie mixture. So I'm going to use 1/3. So let's kind of eyeball it into 1/3. Can you see it with us in the way? We're going to have 3 layers. And then we're going to put 1/2 cup of sour cream. And we're just going to dollop it on there and then spread it around. You know, do the best you can. It's hard when the vegetables are in there and everything, but it's not going to really matter. It's going to cook in there and be just fine. And then we're going to put 1/3 of a cup of enchilada sauce. And I just got the Las Palomas. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but that's what we got. Palmas, maybe. So we're going to put this all over there. I'm going to spread that around just a little bit. Then we're going to put 1/2 cup of our cheese, our mozzarella cheese. And I'm sure you could use whatever kind you would like. That's just what I'm using. And then we're going to repeat. Do our corn tortillas, 1/3 more of our vegetables. It smells so good. Just carefully spread that all over best you can. Got a lot in that corner, didn't I? Got snuck a little more in there, didn't I? And then another 1/3 of our enchilada sauce. and a half of a cup of our cheese. The rest of our vegetables. The rest of our sour cream. This is going to be 8 wonderful servings. Then we're going to use the rest of our enchilada sauce and drizzle that over there. And then I am choosing to, let me get this, I need a little napkin. So I'm going to put some of the cheese on. It calls for all of it at once, but I'm going to just put some because we're going to cover it with foil. And I don't want it all sticking to the foil. So I'm going to put some, and we're going to bake it in 375 for 25 minutes. Then we're going to remove the foil and bake it for an additional 10 minutes without it. So that's when I'm going to add the balance of the cheese on there. Personally, you can do it however you'd like, but that's what I want to do. Now I'm going to add some green onions on top and let those cook in there. And I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of green onion at the end as well. Looks amazing. Okay, so let me get all this out of the way. I worked all day and I'm a little bit tired now, but it's okay. I love doing this. And I hope you guys enjoy this dish as much as I'm going to enjoy it. We'll put it in there for our 25 minutes. Oh, it's heavy. All right, it's been 25 minutes, and we're going to remove this foil. I'm going to add the rest of the cheese on there. It looks amazing. Oh, I wish you guys could smell it. And if you're not doing a Weight Watcher plan or anything like that, of course, add more cheese, or you can add, you know, not the full fat cheese. You know, it's totally up to you. All right, I'm going to put this back in for 10 minutes. And when we come back, we'll get to taste it. Okay, it's out of the oven. It's been sitting for just a few minutes. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's just smells so good. So I can't wait for us to try it. So I am going to cut it into I'm going to cut it in half. And then each of those pieces I'll cut in half as well. And that will give me my 8 servings. The first one probably will come out yucky. It usually does. Like messy looking. Oh, not bad at all. This is how it looks. It smells so good. I'm going to take a little bite. I'm trying to cut that cheese on top. I didn't want to eat all the cheese. Oh, it's very hot, even though I let it set for a little bit. It's very good. It's almost like an enchilada. Super good. So, I hope you guys try this recipe. And if you do, let me know down in the comments what you thought. If there's something you would change or add, or however. Actually, that one jalapeno didn't really do much. I could have put more, but I didn't know for sure. It still has a wonderful flavor. It is very delicious. I will be making this one again. With that being said, I do want to thank you again for joining me along my weight loss journey. Tomorrow I will be weighing in. I hope I've lost my 1 pound to make 60 pounds. We'll see. Sometimes your body has to catch up. I may stay the same or gain something, so you just never know. But I will let you know in the next episode. And again, thank you so much. And until next time, make a fantastic day. Thank you.